Good morning, children. Today we'll discuss. Uh, this is the third part of DBMS concepts, and today we will discuss DDL commands, data definition language commands. Now, just to review the earlier teaching, what is data definition language? What is data definition language commands? It is a set of commands that is used to define structure of the table in the database. It is used to create, modify and remove database table from the database. So we have three DDL commands which we are going to discuss over here. Create, which is used to create the table. Alter, which is used to change the structure of the table. And drop command is used to delete the table. Again, I again want to tell you that DDL commands deal with only the structure of the database, only the structure of the table. It means earlier we have discussed that there are two types of commands, DDL and DML. DDL commands deals with the structure of the database, and DML commands, data manipulation language commands, deal with the data which is stored in the table. So here we will discuss DDL commands. It means we will just know how to create, modify and delete the structure of the table. First command is create command. Create command is used to create the table. You can create a table in a database using this command. The syntax for this table is create table. These are keywords. You have to write these keywords, create table. After that you will specify a table name. You will give any table name to the table which you are creating. After that you will start a round bracket. Then, as we have already discussed, table contains attributes, columns. Each column has a separate attribute. So we'll write attribute for that column and its data type. What type of data that attribute will hold? It will hold integer data, it will hold decimal data, it will hold character data, it will hold date. Whatever is the data type, what type of data it will be holding, we'll specify the data type, column name, space, data type and comma. Then second column name, space, data type, again comma, and so on. We'll write all the names of all the attributes along with their data types, and at the end the bracket will be closed. We'll be using round brackets over here and semicolon. And when you will execute this command, the table will be created in your database. Here you can see an example. See, create table is the command. This is the name of the table which we are creating. The table name is student. And here we have four attributes. 1, 2, 3 and 4 attributes. Number 1 is roll number and its data type is integer and its size is 2, comma. Second attribute is name, data type char and its size. Third column or attribute is class, data type char and size is 5. And last attribute or column is marks. This is data type integer and size 2. After executing the query, this is the table structure which will be created in the database. It will have 4 columns with each of the attribute roll number, name, class and marks. And you can store only those types of values which you have specified in the data type. Means in roll number you can store only integer value, in name you can store only character value, in class you can store only character value, and in marks you can store only integer value. When we are talking about integer value, it will not store decimal values, float values. So this is how we'll create a structure of the table. Next is constraints. What are constraints? Whenever we create a table, we can follow few rules so that the data entered in the table is always correct. To maintain the accuracy and integrity of the table in the database, we can apply constraints to the create command. Whenever we create a table, we can apply constraints. Constraints are restrictions which we can apply on the table so that only correct data goes into the table. So there are 5 types of constraints which we can apply: primary key, not null, default, unique, and check. We'll be discussing them one by one. And whenever we apply constraints, we can apply them at 2 levels: table level and column level. Table level constraints are those constraints which are applied to more than one columns. It means we can apply that constraint, that particular restriction, to more than one column, then it is called table level. And when we apply constraint to single column, individual attributes, then it is called column level. So there are 2 ways to apply constraint in a table: table level and column level. Here are 5 constraints, as I have already told you. Out of these, only 3 constraints, primary key, unique, and check constraint, can be applied at table level. Not null and default constraints cannot be applied at table level. These can be applied only at column level. Now we'll see how we can apply the constraints. Number 1, first constraint is primary key constraint. Primary key constraint specifies that each row should uniquely identify the tuples in the relation. You already know that what is primary key. Primary key uniquely identifies each tuple. Okay. And second is it cannot contain null values. So whenever we have to make any column, any attribute a primary key, we can add extra keyword to it. That keyword is primary key. Like we have written over here, create table student, roll number is the attribute, integer is its data type, and after that we have written primary key. So here what the database will do, it will make roll number the primary key of that table. This is called column level constraint. If we have to apply it at table level, then we can do it like this. We have to write keyword constraints. Till here syntax is same. We will write all the column names, and at the last, after writing all the column names, we will write constraint. This is your keyword. This is the name of the constraint. We have kept pk, the name of the constraint. Then you will write again second keyword, that is primary key. This is not a this is not a keyword. It is the name given to the primary key. We have given pk name to the primary key, and here in brackets we have written roll number comma name. It means when we are declaring primary key, we are using roll number and name together as a primary key. Not single attribute is here a primary key, but roll number and name in combination, they make primary key. So these are 2 ways to apply primary key constraint. Next is not null constraint. Not null means you cannot leave blank, you cannot input blank values for that cell, for that row, for that attribute. You have to enter any value for it. Like here we have written create table student, and then roll number, data type, and not null. This is your constraint. Not null is your constraint. Now whenever you will enter data in this table, you cannot leave roll number as blank. You have to enter it some roll number for the student. The not null constraint, as I have already told you, it cannot be applied at table level. It is applied only at column level. Next is default constraint. Default constraint, default means the value which is already present. Default means whenever you input some record and you do not specify any value for that column, this default value will be taken by the system. For example, here we have created table. All attributes are written over here, and here we have written city. This is the data type, and then default is a keyword equal to Delhi. It means whenever you will enter data for any student, you will enter roll number, name, age and city for that student. And if you don't enter any city for that student, by default his city will be entered as Delhi. So this is called default constraint. Next is unique constraint. Unique constraint ensures that all values in a column are different. Means you cannot enter duplicate values in that column. In that column, you will not be able to enter same value twice. Here we have written roll number, data type and unique. This is the keyword. You have to write unique. It means you will not be able to enter roll number for two students same. You have to input different roll numbers for all the students. This we can apply at column level and table level both. This is for column level and for table level. After writing all the attributes, you will write keyword unique, and here you will mention all the attributes separated by comma for which you want to keep unique values. Here only roll number is mentioned. You can write other attribute name also for which you want to enter only unique values. Okay. So this you can apply at both at column level as well as table level. Next is check constraint. Check constraint is used to limit the value range that can be placed in a column. It means it can be used to see that only particular range of value enters the table in the database. This you can apply at both levels, column levels and table levels as well. See, here we have written it. Age, this is your attribute name. Data type, this is check constraint. What we are checking? We are writing a condition over here enclosed in round brackets. We are writing age should be greater than equal to 18. It means it will input only those ages which are greater than equal to 18. It will not take any value which is less than 18. The system will generate an error. It can be applied at table level also. Same method like we have done in primary key. See, constraint, this is the keyword. This is the name of the constraint, Cn. This is check, again keyword. And here we are checking for two things over here. Age should be greater than equal to 18 and roll number should be less than equal to 40. For age, it will not take any value less than 18, and for roll number, it will not accept, your database will not accept any value which is more than 40. It will only take values which are less than equal to 40. So this way, we can apply check constraint at both the levels. At column level and table level, the difference applying constraint at column level and table level is that in column level you can apply constraint only on a single attribute, and if you are using table level constraint, that can be applied for multiple columns. Like here we have done it for two attributes. Multiple, if you want to apply constraint at multiple columns, then you have to use table level constraint. This was all about your create command. Next is alter table command. Alter table command is used to add, modify and delete columns in an existing table. Means again we are dealing with the structure of the table. In structure of the table you have columns. You can add a new column to existing table. You can delete a column from existing table, or you can modify column in the existing table. So there are three commands which we can use for doing these three functions. The syntax is alter table. These are keywords. Here you will write the table name. Then you will write add. Add is the keyword. And then you will write column name and its data type. It means the new column which you will adding to the table, you will write the column name and that data type. For example, here it is written alter table student. We are altering table student and we are adding a new column to the table which is email. Attributes name is email and its data type is varchar with the size 255. We can delete also existing column by using the syntax will be same. In place of add, you have to write drop. Alter table student, drop column. These are keywords, and here you will specify the column name which you want to delete from the table. The email attribute, email column will be removed from the existing table. And third is to modify. Again, the syntax is same. Is just that alter table student in place of add and drop you have to write modify. To modify you have to write modify. Email, see here we are changing the size of the attribute. Email is your attribute, this is your data type, and this is your new size which you are assigning to the email. So we can alter the table in three ways. We can add a new column using alter table add command. We can remove a column from the table by using alter table drop column command, and we can modify existing column. We can change its data type or we can change its size by using alter table modify column command. So this is all about alter command. And the third and the last DDL command is drop command. This command is used to drop or delete table from the existing database. If a table is existing in the database, we can delete it by using drop command. So a simple syntax, you will write drop table. These both are keywords. You have to write them, and then you will write table name. Like here we have written drop table student. That student table will be completely removed from the memory. So this is all about DDL commands. All three commands we have discussed. And we have three DDL commands: create, alter and drop. Thank you.